AI agents connecting to your SaaS app. It's a massive growth opportunity you can't miss. But there's a problem. You've built a product for human users, and AI doesn't always act human. But don't stress. Frontegg makes it easy and safe to open up your product to custom agents and Gen AI platforms like Gemini and ChatGPT. First, connect. Just add your API spec and choose which tools you want to expose to agents. Frontegg will create a hosted MCP server for you. Drop your new MCP URL into a Gen AI platform. Look at that! You're listed. Now a user can interact with your product using the AI interfaces they already love. Next, you need enterprise-grade security. For example, to pay invoices in a billing app, you might want a lower limit for agents. Use Frontegg to set fine-grained guardrails. When the limit is hit, Frontegg can ask for additional authentication or invite a human into the loop for approval. Finally, observe the impact. Track how many customers are using your AI tools and how often activities were blocked or flagged. It shows that your policies matter. Frontegg gives you the fastest way to join the AI revolution. Enterprise grade, no code, and the agentic interface your users already love. With Frontegg, your SaaS product is ready for AI. So open it up.
All right. That was exciting. So pretty much tells the whole story. And super excited to be here taking this live stream for our launch of AgentLink here from the lovely Mountain View, California. And as you'll see in a few minutes, we're taking it global. So we'll have guests appearing from the other side of the world as well. Super excited. We will talk about AgentLink, the new exciting product from Frontegg. And I will actually demo the first part of our product, the connector, the agent connector. That sounds exciting, and I'm sure you'll love it. You'll love it. We have some amazing stuff coming up, and we have 3 days of that. So every day we'll introduce something that is unique and interesting and should provide a lot of value to SaaS organizations. And I will also intro Oded from Cisco, and we'll have some audience Q&A. And finally, kind of the cherry on top, Aviad, my co-founder, my partner in crime for the last 10 years we've been working together, will join me in talking a bit about the product roadmap coming ahead for the AgentLink and the agent connector that we're introducing today. So great to see everybody joining us. We have quite a lot of people here. And first, Oded, welcome, and thanks so much for joining me here.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, and before we kind of start and I'll introduce AgentLink, I thought about kind of an ice-breaking question. So maybe something that is not AI related that is happening and it's fun.
Yeah, so I have 3 kids. My youngest one is my daughter. She's the youngest. She's 7. And last year she had a robotics class where she needed to use the microbit, and we have 2 microbits at home. And yesterday I offered to her if we can sit together and build something cool with microbits, and she accepted. And we built a hot and cold game with 2 microbits that were transmitting with radio frequencies. And she was super excited, and she dragged the blocks, and she understood the flow, and she wanted to go far and see the range of the radio frequencies, and it was really fun. So kids still like coding.
Kids still like coding, and what's fun about that story is that you could have done the same thing probably 20 years ago, and it would still apply. So I find it super cool that you can still make things work in the old way, and the kids are still connected to it, right? Because the new stuff I'm worried about some of the new innovation that is happening and how it's gonna affect the kids. One of the nice interesting conversations that I've been having is whether kids will still learn coding, or they will just write prompts and stuff like that. So yeah, so thank you for that story. That's a great opener. And we will talk to you a bit about stuff that are AI related in a few moments. But let's start by showing a bit on what we're doing here today, and kind of present. I promised my marketing guy not a lot of slides, so I promise there won't be a lot of slides here. But let's introduce Frontegg AgentLink, and we're securely opening up your products to Gemini, to ChatGPT, to Claude, to any AI agent. So this is actually what is happening here. A bit about the company quickly. So Frontegg, as you know, exists for many years now, 6 years. We're stopping to count soon. Hundreds of customers, great investors behind us. We're super proud to have customers that are fast-growing startups, but also enterprises, and they're already using the product. They're super excited about this release as well. And to tell you a bit about the story, so up until 6 months ago, everything that our customers were talking to with us were about securing their web interfaces, their mobile apps, their APIs. But lately, it's all about, listen, Sagi, how can you help us secure this agentic interface that we're starting to open up? We introduced some chatbot or copilot within the application, and we're starting to see some messy stuff that are happening with it. And our security team is not happy, and our product team is not happy. And how can you help us with that? How can we track the users that are coming in, what they can or cannot do within those applications? So it seems that in the last few months, there's a lot of conversations that are happening with our existing customers, and also with some prospects that are coming in to listen about our identity products. And the discussion is about AI agents. And I think that's kind of the story. And if I need to take this story, rewind back, about, and I take it maybe more on the macro level for the move and the shift, the evolution that is happening in product interfaces. So, we started with terminals and mainframes and DB2 and all that fun stuff in the 60s. And then, when I was born, 10 years after that, everybody were working with CD-ROMs and installing software on their computers with a license key. And in the early 2000s, there was a major shift to the cloud. So all of the software started to move to the cloud. And then mobile interfaces were introduced. So a lot of software companies, SaaS companies, were basically shifting or adapting their existing interfaces to mobile interfaces. And then we have obviously APIs. So in the last few years, a major shift to support APIs. So kind of APIs and automation, machine to machine became a standard. And the exciting thing that is happening now, and that's a big shift, is the AI operating systems are starting to get into our workspaces, our workplaces as well. And I call it the new way to SaaS, right? So shifting from logging into dashboards, counting on user experiences that were predefined for each and one of the products, to moving to kind of those describe and done experiences where the user is connected to the data, and basically they can create their own experience and get their own value for whatever they need to solve at that moment. And the fun stuff is that over the last few months, we see that there's a huge alignment happening from all of the AI platforms that we use at home, shifting from home usage to using workplace AI platforms. Claude added their own connectors. We will see that on my demo in a few minutes. OpenAI followed with ChatGPT, adding their own ways to connect applications from their marketplace or from custom Model Context Protocol, MCP servers. Gemini CLI supports it as well. Microsoft has a big studio that you can connect a lot of the applications to that studio. So a lot of movement in the industry that is happening in those areas, and I think that this is super cool. This is the vision. This is the new way to work. It's supported by the analysts. So Gartner says that 40% of enterprises will have agent-specific tasks performed in the organizations by 2026. Right. So by 2025, only 5% of organizations have actually deployed agent activity for the business operation within their organization. We were talking about 40% by 2026. So that's actually happening now. And I'm sure that it will rise throughout the next few years to huge percentages. There will be almost no organization that will not have AI in it. And this is where we introduce Frontegg AgentLink. So that's, I'm just thrilled to show you that product today. We've been working really hard over the last few months on working with customers, with initial design partners. And, Odette will talk about it in a few minutes. But I think that the product that you will see actually shows that a lot of value from day one. We want to make a seamless experience for our users. AgentLink allows any SaaS product to be opened up securely to any AI platform. So you can be listed in any AI marketplace, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, any platform that accepts custom MCP connectors. You can be listed in a few minutes. And it's actually a few minutes. I will show it soon. So the principles that we try to work with during the building of the product, first of all, use your existing APIs, right? We don't expect you to rewrite everything. We just want to leverage your existing APIs and start to shift them into AI-powered tools very fast. Second, any identity provider is supported, right? So if you use Frontegg, that's great. You get it kind of batteries included with all the fun features that Frontegg has as an identity provider. But you can use any identity provider that is OpenID compliant, as you'll see in a minute. Any type of backend is supported. So regardless if you have REST APIs, for example, Cisco had GraphQL, everything is supported, Lambdas, or any type of backend. We don't want you to reinvent the wheel. We want you to continue using your existing stack. And the uptime is enterprise-grade uptime. That will become one of your main product interfaces. So it's not a bonus. It's it's not a cherry on top. It will become actually one of the main interfaces through which your customers will connect and use your products. So it's important that it will be always up and running, highest security, and all the things that you expect from a critical infrastructure platform. On the high-level architecture, and I think that this slide, and I'm sorry if it's too small, but it shows how your customers from the left side will connect through their own favorite AI platform, going through the Frontegg AgentLink product, and you will see that in a second, and connecting to your existing backends when everything is audited, secured. You can set up any policy. You have all the visibility, all the governance that you need, but not only through ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude. You can also get all of the data flowing through custom agents running through that same foundation. So whether it's your internal agents, Copilot that you built in your app, or custom agents that your customers build, everything goes through the same interface and protected on the same backend configuration and guardrails. Okay, so finally, we will go and present the demo, and we will show you in the demo how I select an existing product, existing application with REST API, how we generate a connector, and then how we actually connect agent AI platforms to this application and make some fun stuff with it. So that's it's I've people told me it's crazy to do something like that with live and not recorded video, but we're actually going to try and do it live, and hopefully everything works, because there's a lot of moving pieces here, but I'm confident that it will work. If not, I will blame my marketing guy. Let's start. Okay, so several interesting things here, and we're going to start with this application that we have here. It's an expense application, just a regular, your B2B expense application where you can file expenses, you can list the expenses, you can upload your receipts, and all the regular stuff. And now, what we're claiming is that, in a year from now, you will just upload everything. You will you will query this type of applications, create reports from your chat interface that will be used inside your organizations. So let's see how we connect, how we open up this application to AI platforms. In this demo, we're demonstrating how it can be used not with Frontegg as IDP. It's important for us to pass this message, but obviously, if you're using Frontegg as your IDP, you get everything, batteries included. But any OpenID compliant identity provider is fine, and it will work fast. And here we'll show you something that works with Auth0. You can use Keycloak, you can use Amazon Cognito, or anything that you have that is protecting the users in your app. So next step that we will do is we'll go and sign up to AgentLink. So we're going to frontegg.com, and I will sign up. Okay, let's complete the sign up with the code that we received. And I'm getting into our Frontegg portal. And as you will see in our Frontegg portal, the experience that you're getting to the new application when we're making, the purpose here is to make your application agent ready. Obviously, you can do all the great stuff that Frontegg allows on other fronts. We get an AI native experience. So it was very important for us to build an experience that is truly AI native, just like we used to get kind of on our day-to-day work. And so this is a Frontegg AgentLink AI assistant, and it will guide me through the onboarding process. And it asks me about my application. So what kind of application I have. So I'll just write that I have an expenses app. And what happens now behind the scenes is it actually spins up an enterprise-grade MCP server, and that's it. It's basically ready. Now, we want you to be able to test it out before you actually connect your real APIs. And this is why we created the portal for test environment. And you can see here that it's a full test environment. It can work with any model. Right now, it works with the GPT-4, but all the models will be supported. It's kind of give you a taste and a feeling of how it will be used by your end users without actually connecting it to Claude, ChatGPT, or other AI platforms. So you can kind of get the sense of it. It gives you a few templates of what is supported. So in this case, let's ask for a list of my expenses, and it will produce an answer. This is a mock answer. So basically, it mocks our APIs just by the type of application that I provided. Nothing really is connected here, but you can kind of get the sense of how it will feel after we connect the real backend to it. Okay, so this is the request that was made, and I can make I can ask other questions and play with it. Super cool. But let's maybe connect and turn to the real stuff. So now the next step is to basically connect our real backend. And for that, I will open up the interface of the schema upload. We can use REST APIs. We can use GraphQL, connect any type of backend behind it. You can upload the file. You can paste the code. Here is a small example, but I'll just go ahead and paste my Open API spec. And it's a standard Open API spec. You can generate that from your backend APIs. It shows the different objects that are used on our backend, and it shows all the endpoints that we have here. So list all expenses, create all expense. We will upload it, and AgentLink analyzes that Open API spec file and proposes some tools that we can expose. So as you know, AI and agents understand tools. They don't go straight to APIs. And these are the tools that it suggested to create. So I chose 5 tools here. I'm saving it. And that's it. Basically, we already have those tools inside. And now the next step, it asks for what is the authentication provider. So what is the identity provider that we have? As I mentioned, you can use any OpenID compliant identity provider. Everything is supported. At this example, we're using Alt0, so I'll pick Alt0. And next step, if you're not using Frontegg, you need to do an additional step of generating the trust between the IDP and Frontegg. And for that, we need the client ID, client secret, and well-known URL. You can export it from the back office of your identity provider. So I'll just paste the well-known URL, the client ID, and the secret. Don't try to hack it. There's nothing fancy here behind it. It's just a demo application. Now it's configured. And the next step that it asks, and that's kind of the final step, is actually how to connect to our API. So what is the URL where our APIs reside? And this is hosted on Vercel right now, the demo application. Cool. So we see that it set up the API base URL. And that's it. We're ready. So we're going to the dashboard. The MCP is up and running. And I'm going to the dashboard. And we can see here there's no data yet. Everything is configured. And also, we can see that we have the assistant, the AI assistant working with us on the left side. So we can perform all of the activities, all of the configurations, fun stuff that we will see tomorrow on the second day release. We can configure everything from the left side. But also, if we still want the point and click traditional experience, it's available on the right side as well. So we try to create this hybrid approach of user experience. So awesome. Everything is set up here. We have everything up and running. And I think that what we'll do on the next step is we'll go and try to connect that to one of the AI platforms. So this is the real thing that is happening. We'll just copy paste the MCP gateway URL. So this is the live URL where everything is hosted. And I will move to, let's start with ChatGPT. So I'm in ChatGPT, currently working in developer mode. It will be opened up for all of the modes soon. And I'm creating a new MCP. Oh, let's pick some icon for our expense app. The name is expense application. I'm pasting the live MCP URL. And I'm basically creating my MCP. Okay, so let's see how that works. The first thing that has happened, okay, so we see that ChatGPT connected. That's kind of the end user experience when they connect the first time. They will need to log in with their user. Obviously, Frontegg as a gateway needs to understand who is the user that's connected, that is trying to make the calls in order to determine which kind of tools they can use, which kind of guardrails and policies we have configured on those type of users. RBAC is fully supported, so it's important to know who's the user. And I will log in. as the administrator to do this first connection of the MCP. And after I'm connected, basically I can see that it was successful because I already can see a list of tools. So I can create expense, delete expense, all the 5 tools that we created on our gateway. And that's it. So now let's choose auto, so it will be quick. And we're using our expense application that is connected. And let's see, list all my expenses. So that's super exciting. That's the first query we're doing from our AI interface. So it's trying to find the relevant tool to fulfill this request. It asks me whether I want to allow using the tool. I allowed it, and we should get an empty list now because there's no expenses. Perfect. If we go to our expense application, I will log into expense app. We see that we indeed have no tools right now. So that's just perfect. And now let's do the second connectivity, and that is to Claude. So let's do the same thing that we did with ChatGPT. We already connected there, and we can make queries. But now let's connect to Claude. So as you can see in Claude, I already have some applications connected. My Google Drive, my Google Calendar, my Notion is connected. And now we're going to add our expense application. Okay, so basically we're doing the same thing here. We configure the app. The next step that we will take is connecting the application in the same way the first time we connected it. So the administrator will do it for your customers the first time with the MCP that you've opened up. And perfect, we can see that it connected. We can see the configuration. We can see the 5 tools listed in Claude as well. We will allow to use all of them. Again, that's a one-time configuration that your admin will perform. And when we're going to tools here, we can already see that your expense application is listed along with Notion, Google Workspace stuff, any application that you connect to it. So let's remember that in a year from now, all of the apps of your customers will be connected here, and you can be listed here as well through this product that we're releasing today. And let's see that it actually works. So now I will do something. I will do a write action, not a read action. So let's add an expense for a team dinner from yesterday for $400. Okay, so now we're trying to actually write something, perform an action on our expense application through our account, and it creates the expense, and done. Added the team dinner expense. So we should be good, but let's verify. We'll verify through going to ChatGPT and asking it to list our expenses again. And now we're expecting to see the new expense here. Asking it to list all the expenses again. Yeah, it called the tool. And let's see that we indeed get this one expense for the team dinner. Perfect. So we see this one expense. And if I'll go into our UI, I should be able to see that over the UI as well. So perfect. So we actually created an action from our Claude. We can do the same. All of the tools are usable. We can edit everything. So any tool and any configuration and authorization and entitlement that I have as a user to use with my expense application, I can now do through the chat interface. And we did all of that in a few minutes. But this is calling one application. One of the big values that we have here is not only using one application, but AI platforms that are connected to many products will allow us to do these integrated activities throughout all of these products that are connected to our workspace. So I actually want to try and do something that is more complicated, right? So I have an expense equipment file here. Okay, so that's basically a report from October 25, so last month, on things that I purchased. And another thing that I have is I have my calendar, and from last week I had a few lunch and dinner and stuff like that. So I actually want to take the dinners because they're the most expensive. And let's try to ask Claude to do something more complicated. So I will ask it to read the file with the equipment expenses, and also get the dinners from calendar. And you know what? Let's add everything to our expense application now. But not only that, after it finished, I wanted to generate a report, a new report on our Notion, on our company Notion. So my CFO can have access to everything that was done here in my department. Okay, so that's, I want to read the file with the equipment that was purchased in my department. I want to take the dinners from, that we had from last week. And I want to put everything to our expense application. I think we had only one dinner, if I'm not mistaken. And I want to put a final report of everything into a Notion document. So let's see how that plays out. So what happens here is that Claude starts to work on it. It creates the plan, and immediately it goes to Google Drive to search for equipment expenses. And I see that it already found the file. So it's taken the file, and now it's trying to fetch the dinner events on the calendar. Great, it found one dinner as expected. And now it goes and creates the expenses for the equipment, for the dinner. So we have several expenses that are created here. And finally, after finishing this task, okay, now it takes the team dinner from calendar, one dinner, see a few expenses that were added. And now it creates the page on Notion. So let's see after it finishes. We can see here the title and the content that it tries to put on Notion. And perfect. Completed the task, and it summarizes the action. Everything obviously here will be audited on your organizational Claude account, and we have the full report on a new Notion file. So a full expense report with everything, with the equipment, with the team dinners that we have here, and the whole summary in Notion. So I think that this is a great way to demonstrate how the new age of work is going to happen without logging in. So we didn't have to go out to 4 places, retrieve the data, put new stuff there. Everything is happening through this single platform, and Frontegg is there to make sure that everything goes smoothly. Expense application is added all of the new expenses here for the team dinner and for the equipment, and everything is smooth. So that's kind of the demonstration of the new age of workspace operation with SaaS applications, and we're so excited to power that up. If we go back to the Frontegg dashboard, we can see that everything obviously is presented. We can see which kind of platforms are used. So what is my top used tool? We can work with the AI assistant and ask it for some analytics and insights. We can create policies. We can see that it answered with the correct tool for creating new expense that were used 5 times. And everything is also monitored. So you can see here that there's a log for every activity and every execution. And you can really get all the data here. Even if something didn't work, the developers can troubleshoot it, and this makes sure that everything runs tight. So this is our demo, and things went pretty smooth. So I'm excited, and let's welcome back Oded and chat a bit. Oded, great to. Isn't it exciting?
It is. It was an awesome demo.
Thank you. Oded, I would love to, talk to you a bit. You're kind of one of the first adopters of AgentLink, and maybe to dive a bit on the before we're diving into the things, tell us a bit about what you're doing, why even, considering opening up the product that you're working on to agents and to AI interfaces, why it's interesting for you. So give us kind of the overview.
Okay, so I work in Cisco Identity Intelligence. It's a product that gathers identity information from your identity providers and service providers and provides a single pane of glass of all the identities, human and non-human, in your organization. And we collect a lot of information about users, groups, devices from different service providers and identity providers. And we let our customers slice and view and filter different aspects of that data. We want to use agents because I think agents is the future. It democratizes data. I mean, if my customer wants to see the Salesforce administrators that have signed in from a location that is different from their registered work location, they can do that today in our dashboard, but they need to manually go to the users table and filter by the Salesforce administrators, and then for each one of them go into their activities and filter with a cumbersome query language to find locations where the registered location, where the sign-in location is different from the registered working location, and it's just a hassle. And doing that through natural language questions and performing queries by natural language and letting the MCP client control the workflow, it's the future. It's a lot easier than what I just described doing manually.
I agree. I think that before, up until now, we're kind of relying on somebody to guess what is the best experience for us, right? So we have very talented people, product managers mainly, that are working very hard to talk to customers, gather some information, then kind of find the least common denominator, right, within the product, to try and suit the user experience for everybody. And what you're basically saying here is that, one user would want to retrieve the data in this way, the other user would want to do something else. Once you're giving them the ability to work with the data, you're kind of saying, listen, everything is opened up, democratized, as you said, and I can just go ahead and build my own experiences. I can ask my own questions. I can ask the agent to do some recurring tasks, like every week if I wanted. Ask it to paste the results on Slack or whatever I want to get them. And I'm not reliant so much on these predefined user experiences within the SaaS applications.
Yeah, exactly. And even if we do get the UI right, the user experience right, you need to train your customers and their administrators to use that specific UI and user experience. And when you change that and you change their experience, you need to retrain them. And I think using natural language is definitely easier.
Awesome. Sounds great. And when you kind of first heard about AgentLink, what made you try it? You have a team that built some amazing product, and obviously there's a build versus buy question here, right? Why would we want to build it on ourselves, or why would we want to kind of delegate that infrastructure to somebody else like AgentLink or other solutions out there? What were your first thoughts about that?
So it was a journey. We started off with trying to build this ourselves in Slack. We added / commands in Slack, and then we had to write the entire infrastructure of translating the user questions into API calls. And it's very clunky and cumbersome and time-consuming. And we found that we didn't want to do this ourselves. We do want users to use Slack. We would love it if we could do this in Slack, but we saw this emerging technology in MCP, which allows the users to do this in different IDEs and MCP clients, and we said, yeah, this is what we want. This is the bridge between the user questions and our APIs. And we wanted to use MCP servers, and we built an MCP server using the STD-IO transport. And it works, and it's fine, but I feel that the STD-IO MCP transport is geared towards developers and developer environments, because you need Node installed or Python or UV or containers, or you need some kind of execution environment.
Yep.
And that's a big hurdle for non-technical people to get past. So we wanted something, and HTTP Streamable came up, and we wanted to use that. And it's all new. There's not a lot of, you didn't have a lot of competition when we started working with AgentLink. We did look at what big cloud providers try to build now, and it's cumbersome, and we didn't get exactly what we wanted. And we tried AgentLink, and it was super easy and super fast, and it just works.
Yeah, we try to make it, we could have taken an approach that is very wide scope, like most of other solutions. There are great solutions out there that allow you to do a lot of stuff. But talking to our existing customers from our customer identity solution, they had a lot of tasks in mind, but one thing that we caught is that all of them want to try and open their products, even, and I'm not talking on opening everything from day one, right? But even one flow, opening it up to AI usage. And we build the product centered around this value. So we didn't try to capture everything, but we try to make sure that this actually works perfectly and very fast. And we try to support also every type of backend. And your backend is mostly GraphQL, right? How did the connector handle it? Did it pick up the schema automatically? Was it because GraphQL is more complicated than what I showed with REST API, right? That's defined.
GraphQL is a great way to define your interfaces and APIs. And it's very similar to what you've shown in the demo. On screen, you had a tab for GraphQL. So if you click on GraphQL, you upload your schema file, and AgentLink parses the file and suggests all the GraphQL queries and mutations. And it was super easy using GraphQL and not REST.
Yeah, that's taking an advanced one advanced technology and connecting it to another advanced technology. Looking ahead, now that you have your APIs, can talk to agents, what kind of user experience do you think that it unlocks for you? What is the number one experience that you think will be used through ChatGPT or Claude or whatever your customers use?
So we have two types of customers. Some do more threat detection, and in that case, they can ask ask in Cloud or or ChatGPT or whatever they use, who are my riskiest users, and they can get an instant response about who are the users or non-human users that they have in their organization, and drill down to each of them to find out why they're considered risky. And we have compliance and posture type of customers that can ask questions like, give me the list of the apps with the most unused users, or create a report with the users that are assigned to use Entra but are not using it. And then we can provide that information really quick, and they can, through the MCP client, they can generate a report or send that to a different MCP server to visualize the information differently, which is also a key benefit.
Yeah, for sure. Right now, it's kind of the chat, the chat interface, which is something that is boring, but obviously that will evolve and we will get more kind of product-oriented, tailored experiences on UI as well. So stay tuned. There's a lot of stuff that will evolve along the next weeks and months with the product. Oded, it's great to have you, working with the product. It's a pleasure for us to support Cisco in this endeavor, and great to see that big organizations are taking an innovative approach and trying to work before the market and not kind of chase after the market. And I think that this is what you guys are doing, and it's great to see from the side, but also great to work with you on that.
Yeah, I got lost for a second, but yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for being here, Oded, and you can stay as we will work with. We have some questions. Okay, so let's we have some questions from the audience.
Do you want to read this out loud?
Yeah. So the first question: Hey, Oded, with an organization like Cisco, you all have a huge API footprint. Do you see AgentLink as a driver to uncover new ways for Cisco to partner or your partner network to drive growth and new opportunities? So basically, is it opening up business opportunities for your product?
I think Cisco, the Cisco Security Business Group does have a huge API footprint, but in this case, we're integrating one of the products from the entire suite. So it's Cisco Identity Intelligence. And I think that using tools like AgentLink, you can link different products from the Cisco suite and then ask the MCP client, if this is a risky user, then tell Duo, which is the Cisco MFA, to do step-up authentication on the next activity. So you can also drive policy across your Cisco suite products using tools like an MCP server.
Yeah, everything is connected, and as I showed, you can ask for tasks. And let's remember that these activities are usually recurring, right? The one that I showed today, for example, it's something that the user would typically, a CISO or a security analyst would want to do every week, or get a report when they start their work week on Monday. And we can just set up an agent to do this every week. They don't have to remember or type it every time. So I completely agree. Any other questions that we have? Let's see. Okay, Oded, what kind of risks are you worried about when letting agents into your product?
So letting agents into my product is a lot like it's invoking APIs. So it's a lot like humans invoking APIs or service accounts invoking APIs. The thing that I am worried about is that I'm not really worried about it, but I noticed that MCP clients tend to generate more operations and queries than different than human users, because it asks a question, and if it isn't happy with the response that it got, it
will try again.
to ask the same question again or slightly differently. So the number of invocations of APIs might be bigger. So that's one of the things I worry about.
Yeah, and we get a lot of those embracing, these new interfaces. And security-wise, it's pretty challenging, and this is why we have day 2 tomorrow. So stay tuned. We'll have some fun stuff to show tomorrow on how we can actually reduce some of those risks.
There is one more risk that we did try to mitigate. So we're using user delegated permissions. You have two modes of operations. Either a user signs in or you use API keys for machine delegated permissions. So we opted to use user delegated permissions, and then we can still use role-based access and minimize the risk of unauthorized users performing different tasks.
Yeah, perfect. Because those endpoints, the APIs that I connected here, some of them already come predefined and protected by some controls, some entitlement authorization controls, RBAC, and other stuff. So in order to allow you to continue using the same protection, we made some stuff there, which you guys already use, and I would love to show more of that tomorrow. I don't want to ruin the surprise, but definitely something that we hear a lot on how I can actually enforce my existing policies on this interface as well. So for sure. One more quick question, and okay, so this is for me actually. So if someone is skeptical, what is an experiment they can run on AgentLink this week to validate this is worth investing in? I chose to do a live demo to actually show you how that works. So that's actually a few minutes to connect, and it works. So the experiment that I would do is I would sign up, I would connect just one API, one flow to AgentLink, and try to see how that works through the AI platforms, and see if you like this experience. So we have it free for until the end of the year. You can sign up and use it for free. So that's a great benefit, and I think that it's worth testing out and see if it opens up some interesting opportunities for your business, for your SaaS application, for your customers. Okay, perfect. So Oded, thank you so much for joining me. It was a pleasure, very insightful, and hope to continue providing value to you guys and have you supporting us. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And now we will have my co-founder Aviad joining from our office in Tel Aviv.
Hey.
Aviad, welcome. I know that it's late over there, but
it's never too late for such an exciting demo. So yeah.
Thank you. So Aviad and the team back in Israel work super hard. So this demo goes as smooth as it did. A lot of hard work over the last few months, onboarding the first customers to it. We have some amazing customers such as Cisco already onboarded and using the product, so it actually works in production. And Aviad, I think that the kind of interesting question that people are asking, and again, let's not ruin the surprises kind of for tomorrow, because we still have things that are already released.
Obviously.
But on the connector side, let's talk a bit about what is coming next and how we think about those things.
Cool. So yeah, we spent the last couple of months, gathering feedback from customers such as Cisco with Oded, and a lot of exciting, design partners on building out the agent connector. And when we moved along on building out the solution that you just demonstrated live, we kind of understood from other design partners that that's pretty cool that we build like a complete API to MCP connector. But some of our design partners are actually looking to gather some of the APIs and to gather logic jointly into a code base. So that's part of our roadmap, building out code-based tools. Actually, our partners will be able to code their ways our own tools on the Frontegg platform, and they'll be able to actually code everything around what a tool needs to do, maybe orchestrate several APIs, maybe orchestrate several if-else logics, but everything will be resides on Frontegg and will be able to connect to your general CI/CD flows.
That's super exciting. We're talking about, you kind of talking about it from creating a tool, but if we think 5 years from now, we might get a different way of building backends, right? We're talking about democratizing, Odette said, democratizing data. So this democratization will go through giving you full access to the data. Obviously, it should be guardrailed and protected. But once you get that and you can really trust that, the opportunity is endless.
100%, yeah. I mean, we are kind of talking about a new way of producing software, which didn't exist even 6 months ago. So yeah, that's a complete revolution of the way that we see software being developed.
Great. Next thing we see here is remote MCP tools. So tell us about that a bit.
Yeah, so it was funny because we went ahead with a concept of getting your APIs and being able to kind of build an MCP layer around the APIs. And there were several layers that was already there, okay, such as existing MCP servers that were already there and needed that enterprise grade layer on top of it, which is what Frontegg does best. So we were able, rather than getting your APIs and wrapping it around with MCP, getting your existing MCP and your existing, HTTP-based MCP, streamable MCP, and wrapping it around with our enterprise level guardrails, etc., and just making sure that you are able to connect everything that you already built without you needing to rebuild everything on top of Frontegg.
I think that when we talk to enterprises, there's a big need for for having this freedom to deploy it anywhere, and there's a big kind of ask around data and where does it go and whether it's used by models and stuff like that. So super important to give that. Hooks, that's a thing that we, when you're building a critical infrastructure, and I think that it's a journey that Aviad and I, we can write a book about the importance of
Yeah.
hooks. You pick an approach which is quite opinionated, right, to how this should work and how this should be used. But then you also want to give the freedom. So you're trying to find the sweet spot. Tell us a bit about the hooks capability.
Yeah, so it's funny because we both of us, we have been in the business for 6 years now, and we know the developers like to have the flexibility of everything around their logic and everything around the flows. And hooks actually met us building out SIAM, and now it made us building out AgentLink because we kind of understood that the way of proxying flows and the way of proxying, transform requests and even adding headers that the remote server is kind of expecting to get is kind of crucial with the way that proxies work. So hooks, we are so fortunate to use everything with the infrastructure that we build for our customer IAM product and leverage that for the AgentLink product, because the ability for our customers now to add anything with regards of additional headers and even transforming API requests and transforming bodies of requests when they're proxying to their endpoints is crucial for them to kind of keep the way that their SaaS was connecting to their APIs, and now the same works for their MCP gateways.
Yeah, that's giving the developers the freedom. You're talking about A/B testing here, and I think that once you introduce a new interface, you want to measure things. At the end of the day, that's the live business of our customers. It's not a side hassle, right? And you want to see, what's the best experience for your users, which tool works better, especially with the non-deterministic way that the AI platforms are going to use your application, right? Because when you build the UI, the UX, the traditional UX experience, UIs, you could control everything. But now the model is making their own way to use your app, and their own tools, as we saw, that they think are most appropriate are being called. And we really need the way to measure the success of those. So definitely hooks will allow that. Let's talk about orchestration, another way to maybe enable that, but on steroids, right?
Yeah, orchestration is really like building out agent flows on steroids. Everything that we talked, code-based tools, remote MCP tools, hooks, is purely developers. But then when we spoke with product managers, they said, listen, I really dig on everything that you just said, but I don't want to get a developer into the loop. They have so many tasks to complete. And then, they already built my APIs. And when I want to introduce a new tool, the APIs are already there. I just want to orchestrate them. I want to, maybe introduce an external API. And I don't really need my developer to build a new API into that to protect this new API, because this API is going to be, consumed only by this AI interface that we just talked about. But then it was kind of a challenge because, we were kind of used to having developers build everything. And then when product managers kind of came into that and they said, I'm not sure I need to bother a developer for it,
Right.
And then when we talk about orchestration, they kind of expected to have everything that we built up until now with Frontegg, have them drag and drop, configure and everything. The developer did the integration, and then, it goes without saying from that moment on. So that's kind of what we're working on now, allowing a non-technical persona to kind of build everything with regards of how tool looks like, how tool behaves, what are the inputs and outputs of a tool, and what is the logic of a tool without, involving a developer into the loop. So that's for me, being able to remove the burden of a developer, being a developer myself, that's super exciting for me.
The new age of developing software, you called it, and I love it. I think that as a
Totally.
developer from age of 15, that's it's crazy. It's like 20 and something years ago. Everything is completely different, and you can create value for customers so fast. And the only worry that we have is not about how fast you're doing it, but about how you can actually make sure that it's production ready. And I think that this is what we're talking about, right? We're kind of working with this evolution that is happening in the industry, but guiding our customers through this evolution so that they can actually make it work with their existing products. Because companies that exist for a few years, like Frontegg, we have something to lose, right? We have a stake in the game already. We have customers. We cannot just, open things up without controlling it, without guardrailing it. And I think that this is what we also try to enable for our customers here. So Great stuff, and we'll have more of it tomorrow. So we'll have you tomorrow as well. So if you kind of, long days for you during this week. Aviad, thank you so much. Before you leave, maybe we have one more question. So time for one more question. Okay, so the question is, agent security is a huge conversation right now. What threat models were top of mind as you built it? Okay, so super interesting. And I think that also we need to answer it carefully without stealing the show from tomorrow, because it's going to be around those
we
areas.
won't steal the show from tomorrow. So we have a lot of exciting kind of stuff to present tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, I always say that the part of bridging the gap between an AI interface and an API is probably, the 20% out of this 100%, it's the easier part of doing. Opening it up safely is the hardest part of putting out the right guardrails, making sure that everything is observed and everything is kind of monitored, and that you are able to make sure that an AI agent won't delete your production database, such as cases that we've seen within the last couple of months, is probably the most important stuff. We kind of have a way of making now a way of, we have to open our product up to AI interface. It's either we do it or our product dies, but it's either we do it safely or our product dies. So it's kind of it's kind of a battle that we kind of need to take into consideration. So we need to do it for sure. We need to do it safely for sure. And I believe that, Sage, that's probably something that we're gonna cover tomorrow.
Yep, for sure. This is the plan for tomorrow. So thanks for that question. And that's a big statement. Let's open it up quickly but securely, and we're here to support that. So thank you for that, Aviad. And with this, we will wrap up this day. And I want to thank Aviad. I want to thank Oded from Cisco joining us and working with the product, helping us to find real problems and solve them, and not just solve something from the top of our visionary minds. So Oded, thank you so much. And thanks everybody for joining us. And we're super, super, super excited. I hope that it's visible about the release of AgentLink. You can go ahead and sign up. We have free sign up until the end of the year. We would love to hear from you about your challenges and try to help with that. And that's it. We'll see you tomorrow on another day of AgentLink release. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.